Hey everybody, it's your girl Jazz Justifications, and we are here to discuss Sistas on BET. And we are picking up where we left off, season 7, episode 1. And it picks up where Danny got abducted, or at least the appearance of it, and come to find out it was a dream, another dream. And she wakes up and she's laying with Tony, and Tony is worried about Danny because she's been having these dreams for 3 months now. And he wants her to get some help. And I like how the new writers tie in the 3-month gap here. And Danny, of course, deflects. It's what she does. It's her defense mechanism, right? And she thinks that therapy means that she's crazy. And Tony is like, no, just because you go to therapy doesn't mean that you're crazy. I go to therapy. And Danny is kind of turning her nose up at that, like, dude, you go to therapy? What? You this crazy nigga that go to therapy? And so, she's, turning her nose up at that because she thinks that that's weird. And Tony reminds her, okay, you do this thing. You do this a lot. You deflect. And I actually like this. I personally think that Tony is going to be good for her. And I'm kind of skipping around a little bit here. So Tony lets her know that she's not crazy, that she's actually a really good person. And if she goes to therapy, that, therapy will dig deep into those issues and will help her because Tony likes her. I won't go as far as to say that he loves her because it's been a 3-month gap. So we don't know what's going on with her. We don't know what's going on with them. But I think it's safe to say that Tony does like her, and he likes her enough to actually want her to get some help. He likes her enough to want her to heal and deal with the pain, because one thing that it's apparent is Danny does have some deep-rooted things. She has some deep-rooted issues, and Tony likes her enough. I would go as far as to say, even as a friend, he likes her enough to actually want her to get some help. And he knows her enough to know that she wasn't going to talk to her. She wasn't going to talk to him about the dreams that she's been having. So what he did was he called Sabrina over. So that was that. And Sabrina came over, and he left. And I loved that he clearly knows her enough to know, hey, she's not comfortable enough talking to me about these dreams and stuff like this. So let me call somebody who she is comfortable with. So, and he left and let her have that moment with her best friend. So I'm excited to see where this is going to go with, 1, Danny getting therapy. 2, I'm curious to see where the relationship goes with Tony and Danny. Of course, because of what we know about Danny, of course she may or may not, she may shock us, right? She may or may not block it or try to run from it or whatever, but let's see what happens. Anyway, while we're on the subject of Sabrina, so Sabrina does get her job back at the bank, and Maurice calls her and tells her that Calvin moved away with a white woman who he is now seeing, and Sabrina is in her feelings about that. She's upset because Calvin leaves and does not say goodbye to her. He doesn't say anything to her. He just ups and goes, and he tells Maurice that he couldn't, he couldn't bear the pain or the thought of seeing Sabrina, because seeing Sabrina would have forced him to stay. And he knows that nothing is going to come out of staying because Sabrina don't want him no way. So he just left without saying nothing to her. And if I'm honest, I feel Calvin. You know, I really do. I get Calvin's plight. So I'm gonna say this. I get Calvin's plight, and I'm gonna say two things about that. I get Calvin's plight about that. As a woman, I understand Sabrina, like, hey yo, we've been kicking it. You could have said bye. But I'm gonna also say this too. Calvin did not owe Sabrina nothing. He didn't owe her nothing because they weren't together. Sabrina made it clear that she was not comfortable with the things that he liked. And she also made it clear that she did not like him. She made it clear to her friends, and she made it clear to everybody else around him that she did not like him. That's number one. And number two, she also had other guys around Calvin. She had other guys around Calvin, and she also, let's call it what it is, she wanted to keep Calvin in her back pocket in case it did not work with the other guys. Sabrina's sneaky. And let me know if y'all want me to do another video on my theory about Sabrina. If I'm honest, I think Sabrina is the most toxic of all the sisters. But let me know if y'all want me to do another video about my personal thoughts about Sabrina's toxicity, because I personally think that she the sneakiest one of all of them. But anyway, so Sabrina's in her feelings, and she tells Maurice, well, he could have at least called me. He could have said something to me. And Maurice hits her with that real, like, he didn't have to tell you nothing because y'all wasn't together and you made it clear that you ain't like what he liked. So he moved on. And then in walks the dude that Sabrina has been seeing for the past 3 months. Come on now, sis. You've been seeing a guy for 3 months. You have a whole boyfriend. What you worried about what Calvin doing anyway? So her boyfriend walks in, and then they act like they about to get it. She act like she about to toot that thing up in the bank. Anywho, girl, Sabrina, girl, you got a whole boyfriend, and you worried about what Calvin, you worried about Calvin riding off into the sunset with Becky with the good hair. Sabrina, girl. Anyway, who's next? Andy. So, Andy, we see Andy cooking. Baby, Andy was in the kitchen cooking like a stir fry. In a black dress, she got a new hairstyle. Honey, Andy got a new man. Baby, Andy is living her best life. Like I said, this season 7 is 3 months later, right? So she got her new man. She's still seeing Jordan, and she's cooking. And walks. She look like she happy. So, she happy. She cooking and stuff. She's, getting the hors d'oeuvres and stuff ready, baby. And in walks Penelope and Gary. Yes, you heard it right. Penelope and Gary. And let me be honest, I'm actually not shocked. I'm not shocked that Penelope stayed with Gary. But that's another video for another day. Let me know in the comments if y'all want me to give y'all my thoughts on Penelope, because as we saw back in season 6, Penelope is Jordan, who is Andy's man. But anyway, Penelope is Jordan's sister. Penelope was the woman that Gary was seeing for 3 years behind Andy's back. And it all came crumbling down, and Gary was cheating on everybody with everybody. But anyway, Penelope is pregnant. She about to pop. And Penelope and Andy found out about each other, and Penelope is still with Gary. I'm not shocked about it. But anyway, Penelope stayed with Gary. They're all in Andy's house. And Gary got this sour look on his face because Andy is not sweating him no more. Andy ain't stressed. Andy ain't in the corner crying, eating ice cream, watching reruns of girlfriends eating popcorn, drinking wine. she is moving on, at least the appearance of it. She's moving on. She ain't worried about Gary no more, right? She's hosting dinner parties with Penelope's brother, smiling. She's happy. And unfortunately, with narcissistic, crazy, schizophrenic men like Gary, they hate that. So Gary is pissed off. Gary's in his feelings, and he's throwing shade at Andy. And he also threw shade at Penelope and basically sent out a threat in everybody's face. But either way, so they're all in the house and they're all kind of throwing shade and shots and stuff at each other. And Gary is like, Andy, what you being all nice for? What did you call this dinner? What did you call this dinner for? And Andy is like, I did this because I'm trying to bury the hatchet. Gary's like, what you burying the hatchet for? I'm not buying this. I'm not buying this nice nasty act. And Penelope is like, yeah, Andy, what you doing all of this for? Andy basically is like, look, Penelope, ain't no hard feelings. I'm doing this because I just want to let it be known that there is no bad blood between us. I told you how Gary was. You made the choice to stay. Gary is still mad in his feelings. He leaves, goes to the bathroom, and basically gets one off to Andy's underwear and gets caught by Penelope. And that's how the episode ended. Yeah, that's how the episode ended. Who else am I missing? We get to Karen. Karen and Pam are in Karen's salon. Karen has changed the name of the salon. I forgot the name of the salon. It is no longer Karen's Hair Mastery. It is something else. I think it's Karen's New Start or something like that. But Karen is, since it's 3 months later, so Karen is 5 months now. 5 months now. I think she's 5 months pregnant now. Yeah, 5 months pregnant. Pam is still riding it out. I actually like Pam. I like Pam. Pam is going live, getting some making sure Karen has some traction and stuff like that. She's going live and stuff and making sure that, Karen has some traction and things like that for the new grand opening, which is in a couple of days. And Pam is like, oh girl, I'm tired and stuff. And she was like, well, no, you need to help me get these boxes and stuff. And she was like, well, call Aaron and have him help you. And Karen is like, no, I'm not calling Aaron. And she was like, okay, well then call Zach. Now, one thing I will say I do not like about Pam is Pam always brings Zach up. And I personally think that Pam does that to be messy, because she knows that Pam knows that Karen and Zach aren't really on good terms. But anyway, she brings Zach up. And then and Karen is like, I'm not calling Zach. Because if I call Zach to come help me with these boxes, then Fatima is just going to get jealous. And she throws shots at Fatima, talking about Fatima's edges and stuff like that. Now, I personally did not like that. And the reason I did not like that is because Fatima ain't there to crack on her. And Fatima and Karen they may have had their differences, but Fatima, from what I've seen, Fatima does not say things about Karen. She does not call Karen out her name. She does not go out of her way to be disrespectful to Karen unless Karen is disrespectful to her. And she does not throw shots and things like that on Karen when Karen is not there to defend herself. She does not do that. And I personally don't like the fact that Karen is doing that, especially with Pam. To me, that's messy. But anyway, she does that. And that's pretty much what's going on with it. We did find out that the last contractor, I call him Simba. Dude, I call him Simba. Child, Simba took that money and dipped. But anyway, that with Karen. I believe I covered everybody. Oh, Maurice still does not have a job. This season we do have 3 new writers. I forget their names, but I don't believe Tyler Perry wrote this season. This season does have 3 new writers, and I'm personally am excited to see what this season. Oh shoot! How can I forget? So, as far as Zach and Fatima, Zach does not have custody of baby Michael. Baby Michael actually is not with anybody. Baby Michael is in the foster care system. Andy is Zach's lawyer, and they are currently trying to get baby Michael back. So they have an arbitration in the next couple of days to try to get baby Michael back. What they're trying to do is trying to prove Heather is unfit, and they are trying to get baby Michael with them. And Zach is stressed out, as he should be, So that's pretty much where Zach's focus is, and you can tell that Fatima is supportive, but she's bored, and she said it. She said that she's bored, and I personally love that Fatima is supportive, but I personally want Fatima to get some hobbies and, do some things for herself. I want her to go out with her friends. I want her to get a hobby, take a pottery class, go do some yoga, go to a church meeting or something. Don't just be so consumed with Zach and his things only, because that'll get old real fast. But all in all, I personally like the episode. I'm excited to see where season 7 is going. I've heard some really good things about this season, and I think that this is probably going to be an amazing season. And one thing I love about the show Sistas is their storylines within storylines. That's actually what got me hooked on the TV show in the first place. So, yep, I like it. And I'm excited to see where it goes. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And make sure you guys subscribe to my channel. Hit that like. And let me know what you think about this. Let me know what y'all think and what you guys are hoping for what's to come with Sistas in the comments. Thank you guys so much. I love y'all in real life. Thank y'all.